And instead of going New Hope, I'm actually going to go Force Awakens. Not because, not because. Adventure.
All right, so segue. Now that you mentioned like that, Empire Strikes Back, we're going to rank these Star Wars films and or other properties. If you have seen them, if you haven't, that's fine. Based on your enjoyment. So, William, we will start with you. So we have episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And have you seen Clone Wars movie or the?
So.
All right, yeah.
I've seen some of the series. I might have seen the movie.
Okay.
All right. So, Empire is probably number 1.
Okay.
Most people totally agree with that. New Hope would be probably number 2. Return of the Jedi would probably be number 3. Now, again, I watched them and I was a kid, so it was like nostalgia a little bit. But at the same time, they actually, in my opinion, told the story arc better. And since they were trilogies and kept going with the same characters, they actually went, like unlike these other 2 movies, went and kind of developed the characters, especially Luke, from the beginning of I'm a buffoonish farm boy to the end. I finally kind of put it all together and was able to do something good.
All right, so that's 3. Number 4?
Number 4. And honestly, I'm going to go and I'm going to flat out and say it. The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
And reason is, yes, it was like Jar Jar Binks was horrible. I agree. The kid Anka Sour was annoying. I agree. Take those out. It's really pretty good. It tells a good story. Even Jar Jar did something important in that movie. He helped them get to where they needed to get to, because when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan got to the planet, they came down and they were just somewhere. They didn't know where they were, and they needed to get to where they're going. Okay. The quickest way, hey, can you help me out? And Jar Jar's like, let me help you. Whatever, fine. Okay. So
next. Also, I forgot to mention Rogue One too. But,
Rogue One, better. So it'd be number 4.
Number
5 would be Phantom Menace. Yeah, Rogue One was a pretty good story in itself, and I didn't care that the characters were like girls and whatever's. I didn't care.
Yeah.
They were all important to the story. They did their thing, and then they died. Of course, they didn't go anywhere past that, but they all had something to do, and it made it important. If they didn't do it, something bad would happen. All right, so we got Phantom Menace. Probably.
We got 2, 3, 7, and 8.
Force Awakens.
Okay.
And then probably Attack of the Clones. Well, Clone Wars in there too, because that was better. Attack of the Clones. What's the other one there?
Revenge of the
Sith. Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then somewhere way at the bottom would be The Last Jedi.
Okay.
At the very bottom. No, I take that back. It's not at the very bottom. If you're talking just to movies, yes, it is. But if you talk about the entire Star Wars things, The Last Jedi is slightly above the Ewok TV shows.
I forgot about those.
It is and honestly, here's how much I hated this movie. It is tied with the Star Wars Christmas special in my brain, and only reason why I'm tying it with the Star Wars Christmas one is they didn't introduce Boba Fett. That's the only reason why the Star Wars Christmas one is cool. It introduced Boba Fett as in a cartoon, of course, but still, yeah, this one was a hot mess. When I left the movie, I didn't feel like I saw something fun. I didn't feel like I saw a Star Wars movie. I didn't feel it made sense. I didn't feel it told anything. I felt it kind of spun its wheels. It dragged out for 2.5 hours. It felt long, like you said. It felt long. I've been in the long movies that you didn't know how long.
You didn't know how long it was.
And you're like, how many hours was that? That was crazy. It was 3 hours.
Desolation and smog.
Yeah. I mean, so some of that is like, wow. Somebody's like, oh, what time is it? You look at my watch, like, what is this thing over here?
Yeah, when you have to look at your watch to Star Wars movie, something's
wrong.
That's kind of how I judge movies. Like,
oh god,
your movies real quick.
Let's see. Empire and Jedi, I'm almost tied on those 2. Those are probably my 2 favorites. Jedi, because it was actually my first movie as a kid, probably has to rule it out. And for that reason, while a lot of people hate the Ewoks, I was young enough at the time to truly appreciate the Ewoks, and so there's some of that to it. So probably Jedi, followed by Empire. And instead of going New Hope, I'm actually going to go Force Awakens. Not because The New Hope wasn't original and it was great and it's a one-off awesome cult piece and period piece and all this, but The Force Awakens being almost the exact same movie does improve upon what was done in A New Hope. That's my take. Flame if you want. But
remember, it's enjoyment.
I mean,
so yeah,
and enjoyment wise,
yeah.
Force Awakens it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie, and for that, I have to give it a lot of props. After that, I actually am going to go with the what is the thing called? The newest Star Wars saga.
Rogue One.
Not
Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, haven't seen
especially after the first season, the following seasons, really good. True Star Wars feel, Star Wars stories, really good stuff. And then probably Rogue One after that, and then I guess I would probably go with some of the later seasons of the Clone Wars animated, followed by Attack of the Clones, probably Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, minus Jar Jar. Good, actually a decent movie if you take out the Jar Jar. But Jar Jar's just so obnoxious.
Really
and then I think Revenge of the Sith was probably the worst of the prequels.
Okay.
Last Jedi for me probably falls in there at. Well, I'll be honest. For Last Jedi, I'll be nice. I'll put it slightly above Phantom Menace as far as me.
Okay.
Barely though. I think it's I'm giving it too much credit. I know, but.
It's like I said, it's based
your
on your
choice,
enjoyment. Man. Yeah, it's not even about like what movie is better.
I'm not friends with you on Facebook anyway. Say what you want.
for me personally, being able to go back and see Luke Skywalker, even if I'm not happy with the treatment of the character, what was enough for me to feel like, okay, yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. So they already know my top three. Because as they're watching this,
I don't know. I don't think I do.
No, you don't know yet because actually, as we're recording this, those videos hasn't come out yet. But they're already scheduled. But I already did the top three video. My top three are actually Empire Strikes Back. I know that's a generic answer, but hey,
it had, but like unlike this movie, the Empire actually had tension. It had like foreboding. It had dread. It had like it was like, oh my God, it felt real. It really was. Even if you watch it later, you still kind of get that feeling. I mean, what's going to happen. You're like, that's cool. Oh wow, that's neat. I don't know. It
resonates.
Yeah,
man. It just resonates.
Gives you that kind of tension.
I'm going to say Rogue One second. I'm going to say what's up? Oh, gotcha. Don't want to forget that.
You'd be lost without your phone.
All right, see you, Trey. And I'm going to say, I would say Rogue One second, then I'm going to say Episode 4 third. So that's my top three. They've already kind of known. I've already explained all that and everything. If you have it, it'll be up on YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. So for number 4, this is going to be probably very controversial. I already know this, but it's like I said, it's wrecked on enjoyment. I'm going to say Revenge of the Sith for number 4. For number 5, I will say Return of the Jedi.
You really hate those rewalks, don't you?
I know Revenge of the Sith wasn't executed necessarily well, but man, I felt so terrible for Anakin at the end. I really did. And this is part of why I didn't include it, because usually I do an honorable mention when I do top threes and everything like that. I didn't include it because I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to hear it on this video and /or podcast. That's fine, but whatever. But yeah, I got to say that it did drag it down for me, but I still like it. It's not like I don't like it. It's just like I just like this one a little bit more. It touched me a little bit more. Not in a bad way.
So, my hands are right here.
and then I'm going to say, then I'll say Rebels, and then I will say,
I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. If you get a chance to check it out, you can check it out. I will say this, probably not necessary, but they do some. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you didn't see it,
I saw the ship. The ship looks cool. It's a Corellian type ship or something. It looks neat.
Yeah. If you didn't see it, it's kind of like. You're not missing like my gosh.
Is it like it's animated, but like a computer animated?
Yeah, CG animated. Same thing with the Clone Wars series. The Clone Wars series, I'll rank just below that.
I do have to say that I did like the Clone Wars animated.
The animated one? I have
Yes.
not seen that one.
Well, I think Gennady Tartakovsky wrote it. And he did Samurai Jack, so it looks.
It looks. I remember
looks
seeing it like. I saw the back half of it on Cartoon Network, and I immediately turned away. I was like, "Oh, no, I want to see this." Yes, yeah. So, but then I just haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I
thought that was pretty darn good.
Yeah,
a
a lot of people
better
said,
Last Jedi.
a lot of people said that was really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Episode 7. Then I will say The Phantom Menace, and then I'm going to go ahead and say the Clone Wars movie, the CG animated Clone Wars movie. Had a lot. It was a lot of prequel crap, whatever, and it's kind of that same thing with the first half of the first season of Clone Wars. A lot of that prequel stupid humor that you don't need, and then when I got to episode 10, I was like, please don't, just stop it. And then all of a sudden they just stopped. I was like, oh, they were listening. Yes. So and then the succeeding seasons really picked it up from there. And then the only movie I don't like out of the entire series is Clone Wars. That is the only one I'm just like, I just don't like this movie. It's just boring. It's not everything with Obi-Wan's interesting. Everything with the clones is interesting. Everything with Padme and Anakin, and I think that's the romance thing for me. It was so over the top romantic that I was just like, I'm. The first time I saw it in theaters, I fell asleep. The second time I saw it on, my friend bought it for DVD and we watched it. I fell asleep. Yep, fell asleep. And then
if you have insomnia, you know what to do.
I tried.